So let's start with Firefly. Now, what do we mean by Firefly? Basically, it is our or Adobe's um, engine where we are giving you the same text to image point of view. And we have come up with a lot of research based on what has been happening. There has been a lot of things out there, and I'm sure you might have tried something or the other. So we have come up with something called as Firefly, and it is an image generation tool. And you can generate everything from a rasterized or a basic image. You can create something in Photoshop, not in PSD layers, but in Photoshop. And you can also create it in InDesign because it's integrated into all our design softwares. And we also have it for Illustrator, wherein you can create a text to vector. Again, a very helpful tool for all of those people who come from graphic background design, because you can create patterns, you can create icons, you can create scenes, as well as you can create subject. So it allows you to make that in a vector. And you also have various options of doing that. So let me just show you what we mean by saying Firefly. So it's basically a native integration tool. That's exactly what I kind of explained. And what is working for us from Adobe, or how we are different from everyone else that you might have heard of or tried out, is that we have worked with the images that are completely owned by us, or we have the legal rights to work with those. So you might have heard of Adobe Stock. That means Adobe Stock is a place where you have stock images and videos and vectors and all of that that's available out there for you. That is completely owned. It's own property of Adobe, where individuals, professionals have contributed, and they have had, they have allowed their work to be used by everybody on a commercial basis. So we have trained this Firefly model on the 400 million plus images that was owned by Adobe, as well as the ones wherein copyright has expired or it's open license. So these are the images that we refer to when Firefly creates an image for you. And what happens because of that is that in case if you want to ensure that the image that you're using has no legal obligations, you can vouch for the indemnification, which is something that Adobe offers. And we are extremely proud to say that we'll be able to back you up legally. We are that confident about the fact that the generations that are done through the Firefly is good. It's not something where somebody will come back and say, hey, this is my image, or you have used my photo, or anything of that sort. That will not happen to you because we are taking care of that aspect. That's why that is how Firefly is different from other softwares. Of course, there are other properties also. I'll kind of explain that instantly. So these are the three main points that make Firefly what it is, right? So Firefly is integrated in various aspects, like Photoshop. It has been there for Photoshop for the longest amount of time, where you can generate, you can use generative fill, and you can use generative expand. Also, it has been working as a standalone as well. It's available on a web platform. I will show you that as well. And you have Firefly into Illustrator and InDesign. And now it's coming to the video version of it as well very soon. So we are quite excited about the same. So when I talk about creating images from text, what do I really mean by that? This is an example of that. So when we say ki, I want a picture of a vibrant city in the sunset with realistic details. This is what I get in Firefly, right? I'm just going to quickly show you a few examples of what we have created and then take you through what we are going to be doing today. Now, if I had to come up with a concept, which is something that happens to all of us, I believe Ganesh has also mentioned that he uses it for concept creations. So say, for example, I had a concept for a game. Okay, it might look a little dark right now, but it's just a concept, okay, not in my head. But so when I think about something wherein I want to create a specific kind of concept, I want to type it out. But a lot of time, what creative people struggle with is the fact that, you're visualizing something. You're actually seeing, you have a concept, a complete visual in your mind. And when you're talking about it, you might not be able to express it to the 100%. And that might be, like 1% chance where it might get rejected and you feel bad because you were probably not able to make the other person understand exactly what you wanted, right? So that's where Firefly comes in place. You can simply type your heart's content and get the results that as you want. And why I'm showing you this particular screen is I had created this image into various forms. The one on my left has a warm shade to it. I have chosen these specific things for this prompt, and that's why I got this result. Versus the first four on top has a different result, versus the next four have an illustrated result. This is what I had chosen to see. I wanted to see what kind of information can I gather to get this kind of a prompt or get this kind of a visual, and I was able to get that. So a good feature in Firefly, and it definitely speeds your work. You don't have to sit and sketch and then render it to the right effect that you want to show it. So all of that is easily possible with the help of Firefly right now. Another example, if I have to think of a concept, I can easily think of a concept and get so many variations for the same. Now, I was trying something weird, but this is a snail man. I want to try a character design. I also got, examples of that created in this way. Now, if you notice, all the three styles that I've shown you completely different from each other. So that's what I'm trying to say, that there is no restrictions into the results that you'll be getting out of this. If I had to do a game design, I have to try and create a character, also have a background for it. All of this just made within probably 2 minutes at the max, because I thought about it, typed it out, got results. If you have to think of backgrounds for games, again, examples of that. Now, when I have to talk specifically about Firefly features, you have something called as style and structure reference. So what we mean by saying that is, I had a style. Here I have used a style reference. So what I had done was I had actually gone ahead and asked for a street with buildings around, a lane basically with buildings around it. And I got various results for the same. Now, how is this interesting is that if you notice, all four of them look very different from each other, but they still maintain the same aesthetics. And that's what is quite fascinating here. And I will show you that the number of combinations that you can think of is endless. So a lot of times people come back and say, hey, will we be able to ensure that the results that we are getting is different than the results that others will get, should be unique. It anyways is supposed to be unique, but if you want to make it more unique, you can definitely go ahead and look into a style reference to ensure that it's specific to your brand, specific to a style that you're looking for, and so on and so forth. Now, here's another example where I had actually, tried to render parrots, and then I had taken the one which is on my left-hand top corner, and I generated with the base of that structure and created it in a different style. So you got results based on that. Right, here is another beautiful illustration which I had. So both of these are AI generations. These are both Firefly generations. The first one was done in Illustrator, and the second one was in Firefly, where I used a yarn effect so that I get a result which is knitted or created with the help of yarns. Because this is a specific ask by somebody. They wanted to see if it's possible for us to do it in Firefly. And yes, it is possible. You can actually try it out for yourself, come up with your own styles, make it as beautiful as you want. This is one of the things that I had made. Now, if I had to talk about structure reference in a different way, I had shown you a lot of illustrations. Let's talk about photographs, right? So if we talk about photograph, then okay, so I will get back to the chats. I believe there's been a few statements there. I will definitely get back to that, but I'll just quickly explain you the whole process. So images without structure reference is this, where I had actually asked for an astronaut and got, I had asked for a pilot and I got that. And then here we went ahead and gave a structure reference wherein we kind of, ensure that we have certain form for that model. And we also wanted a certain background. So we combined the two. We used a structure reference, which is the one on top, and a style reference, which is the one at the bottom. And we got this result, which is a merge of the two, right? Then again, another example where we have actually gone ahead and worked around with a farmer, just gave a sketch, and I got results based on that. I tried to get a result on something which was more cartoony, and I got a result for the same. So this is another one wherein I had given a sketch. This sketch was from Adobe stock. I wanted to check whether I'm able to create a character based on that, and I was able to do the same in a 3D format. Again, the variations will depend on your prompts. So without further ado, let me just show you what is possible in Firefly. This is Firefly platform, and this is the web version of it. So as you can see, you will always get to see the community. Another question that I keep getting from a lot of people is, will how will I, come up with a prompt? What is going to work best for me? So it's not very difficult. You can simply write in a basic English. You don't even have to get very technical about something. You don't have to elaborate too much. You can simply write something very basic and get results based on that. But in case if you are looking for something very specific, or if you're, like, there are times when we look into images in general to brainstorm, you can definitely look through all of these. If you like something here, if you want to just try the same prompt, you can go ahead and tweak that also. So, for example, if I say I like this particular image where there's a monkey, and I have gone ahead and seen this. There is certain style and everything that's working. So I can just go ahead and tweak this and change it to what might work for me. So you can do those kind of things if you are struggling to come up with the idea of how to get a prompt. Okay, but let me just take you to what I would basically do. Let me just give you a simple prompt here. Now, if I have to think about my set of a diamond, for example, or maybe a liquid effect. Let me just try a liquid effect first. And I've given a liquid reflective shiny chrome material, 3D polished, isolated black background. So I'm just trying to create texture right now. So let me see how it works. In the meanwhile, if anybody has any textures that they would want me to try, you can just tell me. So see, I've got these results. These look good. Um, I think I'll go with this one. So I'm sure a lot of you might have seen these crazy, text images that have been created, and might want to know how to do those as well. So we could just quickly look at that too. Now, this is an example of what is possible from the texture point of view. So if I had to quickly show you something, let me just give you an idea of something which is a image of the text itself. So I have a text. So say I have written this. I've written slim, right? And maybe I'll use this one. So this is slim. I had actually tried to do it with different colors, because sometimes what happens is same color gets a little difficult or a little challenging for people to, for the AI to understand. Although we know that it's word, but if in case if I had to, make them all of the same color and overlap them, it might get a little difficult or challenging for them to, for the AI to understand it and to generate a text or alphabets based on that. So if I have to just go ahead and save this, I'll just export this as a JPEG. Results that are coming really good when you're talking about these kind of reference images. You might have seen a lot of them. They're quite popular nowadays. So when you come up with this kind of a thing, it's good to have a good amount of contrast between the object that you want to get rendered and the background. So ensure that the contrast is good. And in case if you're having a lot of letters, please try and ensure that you're using a lot of different letters or different colors for every letter. So again, it's easy to identify for the AI. And it's good to save it as a JPEG. It might not take a PNG, but I'm not sure about that yet. This is what I feel. So here we go. And now if I have to just go ahead and save it in, let's say, Firefly text one. And that's it. We have saved the image. Now, what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with the gold one. And I will use this as my style reference. So you see there are these various options that are available here, okay? You can actually go ahead and choose any of these. Right now, I'll just show you the text reference, and then I'll take you through a little more about Firefly, because there are a lot of people who have not used it yet. So I'm going to go for style reference here, okay? Now, when I do that, it immediately comes here in this section on my left. So style reference, again, it'll have two different options. You'll be able to do the visual intensity and the strength. I'm going to go ahead with the visual intensity here. Now, once I've done that, I can actually choose everything that I would want. So I'm going to go ahead and choose the structure, which is our font that we have used right now. And it's Slim 1. I'm going to just go ahead and upload that. Now, another interesting thing is that every time you upload any specific text or visual, it'll always ask you if you own the rights. That's another way for us to know that, what we're going to create is authentic and it's legal. So it'll ask you if you own that image or it's something that you bought or whatever. You can just go ahead and, or you might have drawn it yourself or taken a photograph yourself. You can go ahead and choose that. Now I have my structure reference ready and I have my style reference ready, which is this specific gold, right? And now I'm just going to go ahead and say polished render text, okay, on isolated background. So this should do the trick. Again, there are a few things that you might want to consider whenever you're trying this out for yourself. One is that you have to ensure the orientation in which you're doing. Okay, so there are a few orientations which are possible. I'm sorry. Oh no, I deleted it. I'm sorry about that. Um, happens to all of us, I believe. At least it keeps happening to me a lot. But okay, so I was trying to show you this part where I was going to say that you have landscape mode, which is 4 by 3, then you have portrait mode, which is 3 by 4. There is a square, which is 1 by 1, and there is a white screen, which is 16 by 9. These are the aspect ratios which are possible here. So in case if you're giving a structure reference, wherein you're creating a drawing or maybe a what do I say, a visual or probably even a text, kindly ensure that the aspect ratio is considered. It's either a 4 by 3 or a 3 by 4, like when you're saving with the entire white space around, so that you don't have anything cut. Otherwise, it'll just take that square, create a rectangle inside the square, it'll get cut, right? So let me take this one this time and create this as my style reference. And now let me just give it a visual intensity, complete visual intensity, and I will just take my text, upload it, continue, and I'm going to ensure that I give 100% for this. And out here, I'm going to say text render on, and here we'll go. And I will not tweak with this anymore. I'll keep quiet. But I believe there are a few statements which were coming through. So let me just try and read those right now. So, and there you go. So you're able to get the results here. And as you see, the variations that are coming. Again, it's something where you will have to at least do a 2 or 3 generations to get exactly what you want. So maybe, you like a specific one from here, you can just go ahead and try and say generate similar. If I just say generate similar, it will start generating images based on this specific style for me. And then I can actually go ahead and add a lot of other things to it. Like, for example, now this is giving me this gold and, black effect and stuff. So I can actually go ahead and try seeing if I want to go for a hyper realistic one, I want to go for a studio lighting, and then I will just say this itself. So I believe that my object reference is gone now, and that's the reason why the slim has become SLM. But let me just re-put that in and now say generate again, because it forgot about or it did not retain that specific information that I gave, because I asked for a generate similar and it just gave me the generate similar right now. So there are various options that you can work with. There are various things that you can look into. Now again, here, as you see, I've just given studio light. I've asked for hyper realistic. It's worked with that. Now, if I have to try and show you a different style or a different, idea of how you can render this, maybe I'll try something here, which are, again, all the style references which are available. So the previous one was something that I generated and I used. Now I'll try using something which is existing. So say, for example, I go with a 3D style. There are various options that are available. You have architectural sketches, you have basic sketches. Now, again, these are all also available on your Photoshop. I will show that as well very soon. So you can generate images in Photoshop, and you can even generate images in Photoshop, tweak them around and make it even more precise as per what your requirements are, right? What happens here is you will be able to download the image, but in Photoshop, you'll be able to have it in layers in case if you keep adding more layers to that. So these are the results that I'm getting here. Now, if I want to try something else, I can just go ahead and do that. So the results that I'm going to get is going to be completely based on what my preferences are, right? So here was something where I tried using a text as a reference or a structure, and the styles are changing based on whatever I'm liking. But it's constantly trying to maintain the chrome metal and the 3D effect, right? So if I had to show you something different, I would probably try showing this was Bounce that had tried where I was trying to use um, a float as well as a leather, which was created with the inflammation and with a lot of curves or folds around it. So it's worked with that as well. Again, in case if you land up liking something, say for example, have like this one, I can actually, please go ahead and download in case if you're doing it, and because you'll not get the same generation again. And in case if you want to use similar results for different things, you want to keep changing the structure. You want to have a lot of words created in the same way, but you want to keep changing the structure, then just go ahead and save it as a style kit. When you do that, you will be able to choose everything that you would want to use here, and you will be able to name it and then save it. Once you have done that, you will be able to see that 3D text. If I select all of these, I'll be able to also share it with my team, and they can all start generating the same thing. So you'll have similar results only if you save something called as a style kit, right? So this is again a very interesting aspect that you might want to consider. So and then see, I can copy my link or I can share it with people what I would like, right? So giving you a few examples of what exists in the style kit, as well as giving you a few examples of something which is different, let me just try showing you something on a photography base. So if I have to say um, a tiger and a cub in the jungle, let me try and show you something on that. Now, the basics are here itself, where you'll be able to choose between photography or art. You can choose whichever works for you. Right now, I'll try and show you a few more in photograph style and work around with that. So here it's taken art by itself. Now I'm going to be, it's gone for a club instead. I'm sorry. I'm going for photograph, and let's see what it does. So again, basic rendering usually the default version of rendering usually happens in a 1 by 1. In case if you have to change it, do that before you render. And if you don't have to worry. You can always use the extend feature, generative expand. So you'll be able to still work around with this. So say, for example, I like this image. I want to just go ahead and now I realize that it's a square, but I really like it. So I can just go ahead and expand, and it'll be able to help me with that. Another interesting thing is this same feature of expand exists even in our stock, Adobe stock. So that is a very fascinating thing, because usually when you do, you window shop for a stock image, you don't get to edit all these things. But here you are able to, you'll be able to see that you can actually work around with this. These are options that are available. This one probably, this is the one which I like. I can just download it from here itself. Or I can even insert and stay, keep. And then if I go and insert, I can actually insert something here as well. So say, for example, I want a few more leaves here. So I can just go ahead and choose that and ask for leaves and branch and add. You can even remove things in case if you don't like something in a specific image that you have created, but you really are in a hurry to give it off, and you don't have the time to, open a software and work around with that. You're in a full liberty to go ahead and work with the different variations that will be available and choose the one that works for you. This is working for me. I can just go ahead with this one. So these are a few things that you can do in Firefly on the web itself. Now, if I had to just go back and show you more styles. Just quickly show you a few here, as they have given some default structure reference as well, and they have given a few. So for example, this is a good structure reference for the cats. So let me just show you that. And if I generate, now it's going to give the image based on that specific structure itself, where they're sitting and probably looking on the other side. Then you will have a style reference also, where you'll be able to, see what works for you and take it that way. So see, it's given you the same kind of images based on what you are feeding it or asking it to work with. Now I showed you a lot of 3Ds, but you have everything from acrylic and oil paints, as well as watercolor and pencil sketches. Now, if I had to just show you a pencil sketch, let me just do this one and show you how it's going to look. So it's going to create these variations. So, and the variations are infinite, because they might have a few on the gallery, but it's up to you. It's what you would want to see, or how you want to take it ahead. You'll be able to get results based on that. So this is what Firefly is, okay? And now if I have to quickly show you a few things on Photoshop, let me just go to that. And here, one of the finest features that we have is generative expand, and I think this works very well for all of you who are using a lot of Photoshop, because I'm sure each one of us have come across at least one image every now and then where the image got cut, and you have to work around with it, and you can't really do anything because it's a final image. The model's gone, or the event is over, and you still have to produce a result based on that. So if I want to go ahead and add my image and make it bigger, I can easily do that now while talking to you and without really working too hard on figuring out how I'm going to find the right pixels around it or paint around it and work with that. So this is the generative fill that we have, wherein you'll be able to get 3 responses or results based on whichever you like. You'll be able to choose that and work with that. Right, so let me just go for this one. So this is one of the features which is really good, and I'm sure it's going to help a lot of you who use Photoshop a lot. Another interesting feature that I would want to show you would be the skin, right? So we have to work a lot with the skin. Again, this lady's head is also cut, unfortunately, so let me just quickly give her some hair. And then I'll show you a few things that are available in Photoshop, including the new filters. Have any of you tried the new filters? There are a lot of them which have come in Photoshop, the regular one also, and I like this one. So here you go. We have this image. Now I have merged this one. If I have to go to filters, I'll just show you that neural filters is a new set of filters that have been introduced in Photoshop, and it has the Firefly capabilities as well. So something that you should definitely try it out in case if you have not. It's highly exciting because it saves a lot of your time. Of course, human can do something crazy, amazing, but these are just tools which will help us. So here you go. While talking to you again, I'm able to just work around with the skin, make it improvised, and you get to choose which one you want to do. You want to use it as smart filter, you want to use it as a new layer, a layered mask. You can choose, or you can just have it on the current layer if you want. But I prefer using a new layer because you can always go back to the previous one in case if you want to make any changes. So neural filters has, so you can see the difference now. Previous one, new one, right? Now, neural filters has a lot of things. Whenever you do use it for the first time, it'll probably show you a cloud because it's still not downloaded. I've not downloaded a few features here as well myself. But these features are quite interesting. And once you have downloaded, then you'll have to switch it on to use the specific one that you would want to use, right? Now here you can make her happy and aged. Yeah, it's a little it's a little different than what I would have ever expected, but you can do all these things. You can even change her eye direction. So and make her smile. In fact, somebody came around and told me that they are dealing with health care, so they need to show people in pain. So they don't want happy, they want a little bit of sadness in their faces. And well, you can actually go for the minus level of happiness here and get a little bit of a frown on her face as well. So that's what you can do. You can actually, turn around, change her eye direction, work around with that. You can do, expressions if you want, and global will be, changing the head, working around that. But please do look at this and try it for yourself and see what works for you and which one is the most efficient on your uh, projects, right? Then there is something else that we have, which is called makeup transfer. Again, a very interesting feature because I feel that this is something which might be useful to a lot of us because we tend to have certain expectations or certain, like set of images that would want everybody to use. So here you can actually go ahead and choose a makeup. And as you can see, instantly it worked on her face. I'm going to show you how. So I have, this was a previous image and this is how it is now, right? So it's given the eyes and the lips a little more color as to what it was before. And that's what a makeup transfer does. A makeup transfer can be done from an image which is open in your Photoshop, or it can be from your computer. So you don't really have to worry about that. While doing it, you can just ask for it and it'll do it. We also have something called as image restoration. Again, something which is a big boon because it has always been something which is quite crazy. Let me just get you an image for the same. Yeah, so here we have the image, which is old and it's not in a good state, as you can see. But now with the help of neural filters, we'll actually be able to go to the last option, which is image restoration. Click on that, and you will get to see an instant default result. And then you can go ahead and work around with the adjustments that you need. I'm going to go for 100% scratch removal, and it's processing right now. And once that is done, we will definitely have a better image than what we had before. And yeah, see, there you go. So it's working smart, it's working, it's taking care of all the pixels around it. And here you go with the before and after. As you can see, it's done quite a decent job. Of course, if you want to go ahead and make it sepia, you can, and you can, make the tweaks or make it have a little bit of noise in case you still wanted to have that grunge effect of a old photo. Now, coming to the other features that I would want to show you is making the old lady a little more younger, right? So again, neural filters, we can actually go here and we can try to see in our smart portrait where you'll be able to, we have it in, no, not in scan. We can do a skin smoothing as well. And then you can actually go ahead and make her younger if you want. So a lot of fascinating things possible. Facial age, I'm trying to make her a bit younger. So these are a little interesting for me because it's, although all of us might not be using it, but this is very helpful for quite a lot of people because they are going to go for a very specific expectation, and these can generate some images or some relief. It might not be 100% as per what you are as an artist, but it'll definitely help you or save a lot of your time. And that is the whole idea or intent of this, right? So now if I have to show you something more interesting, I would let me start generating a few images. Before that, I'll just show you this one also. This is one of the Firefly images that I had created. I had shown you in the PPT as well, which was from a sketch where I had one sketch which I wanted to create as a character of a game. And I'm just going to go ahead and ensure that he has a different clothing. Now, a very interesting fact is that we have 3D materials, 3D substance materials available in Photoshop. I'm not sure how many of you know about it, but since it's a Photoshop session, I thought it would be interesting and good to have this specific thing called out so that all of you who do use this and would like to continue making a lot of things around, you'll be able to see that this is a helpful tool. So here, like for clothing, for materials, be it wood, be it the marble, all of these are possible for you to just generate instantly with the help of the 3D materials that are available here, right? Let me just quickly, select the clothing. And now you have to go to Windows and I have to go to material. And once I go to material, there you go, it's popping out. These are the substance materials that are available here. And that's what's making it even more exciting. And Substance also has Firefly now. So I can pretty much create an texture with the help of. Okay, so what I was telling you was that even Substance has Firefly now, and I was able to generate, text to texture. And I could actually make things like porcelain and all of that. It was very fascinating. I actually tried something like a Japanese painting porcelain, and I got it as a result, and it works really wonder. And you can then integrate those into your Photoshop. So even more exciting that way. Now, these are a few fabrics that are available, but in case you can't find the fabrics, you can simply search for it. Once you have, say, now I'm going to go ahead with this one, and I'm just going to, you can actually go ahead and look into the various options that are available. You would see that there are lighting properties, there's metal, there's, transform, you can add the scale, reduce the scale, do what you like. So here you go. There are variations that are possible. And then once you have chosen what you like, you can actually go ahead and change the settings to work to what uh, is the best result for you. So you'll be able to create these textures. Now, I had not done a very good um, selection, so it's not really showing that well around the edges. But as you see, the result is quite intense, and it's going to give you all the folds also if you choose the right blend option, and then you'll be able to work with that and even customize this. So these will have the colors and everything also, where you'll be able to change the colors, you'll be able to change the size, scale it, change the patterns if you want, work according to that, right? So here you have what is possible from Photoshop and Firefly and Substance as an integration. Okay, now if I have to show you another interesting thing, I would just come back to this lady and let me show you what else is possible, right? Now, no, she's kind of all over. So let me just go to another one. So here we have our lady, and I have already changed her orientation with the eyes. So if you see, this is what her eyes was and her skin was. And now I have changed her face, a little more skin's changed and eyes are changed, and all of that has been done. But if I have to change her earrings or just give you an example of what is possible in generative fill, let me just quickly show you that as well. So here you go, and I'm going to say ruby earrings, right? So there you go. So just like that, I'll be able to generate things which are missing in my image, or which is something that I would like to add on my images, or generate something which does not exist anymore. So I have already seen the results, but it's not coming here yet. Why is that? Okay, it's because of this, right? So it's worked on my previous layer. Let me just put it on top. Here you go. So here are the options that I have, right? I'll be able to see variations. Now, the beauty of this specific idea, or why I'm showing this to you more so, is because if you notice, it's generated to a pair of the same. It's blurred it out because the focus is not on the earrings, and it has also ensured that both of them have a different orientation based on what that image is like. So quite well thought through and given results that would work for me. I don't have to, then think too much on, is it looking like a copy paste? Is it not working for me? All of that is taken care of. And that's where it makes it good or interesting, because I'm able to, work with this. Now, a few interesting things also that are possible is you can simply select your subject within seconds. You don't really have to do too much for it. And now I'm just going to try giving her a different kind of a dress. So I'll just do this and show you what is possible. So let me try and say evening elegant dress. Okay, so it's going to try and give me results for the dress. Again, generally you have 3 options that are available, but you can always keep generating as many as you want. And the best part is that you can actually even go ahead and add a few things to your generations. So as you see, I'm able to generate these 3 images here itself and choose the one that works for me, right? So there you go. It shows you here as well. In case if you want to see in a smaller version, you can. And this is where it is just too fascinating, because Photoshop being Photoshop was also something like a magic for me, because you could just sketch or think of something, but here you could just add things so fast and so instantly and get results which made impossible possible. And that's exactly what it's doing right now for us. We are actually making things which are probably difficult or challenging for a normal human to imagine. It's just the creative people who think in this way. So now I will try and show you a few more other stuff, which includes something like image restoration, something like, sorry, one second. It's basically, deselect, something where you'll be able to remove people from an image, which is quite a challenge again for everyone who's using Photoshop. But this is available in the beta version. It's not available in the actual version yet. You can use the beta version, but there is this one thing which is it might crash because it's constantly getting evolved. But in case if you want to just try and explore what's coming in the actual version of Photoshop, you can just go ahead and access your beta version. It's available in Photoshop in the Creative Cloud itself. Go ahead, install it, and the updates are literally coming every week, almost every week. So keep yourself well aware of this and try and use it, and I'm sure you love it. So here you can go for something called as remove tool, which is available in the spot healing section. If I go for the remove tool, here I'll find distractions and I can go for people or wire and cables. So if I go for people distraction, it's choosing all the people that are here, which is showing what is getting selected. And all I have to do is I have to say generate. And without much of a problem, I'll be able to give you what is a clean image with hardly working on the people part of it. So again, a great tool, definitely something that you should try. And yeah, let's just wait for another second to see the result for yourself. And there you go. So now it's taken care of this, and you will see a plain, clean image where you do not have to, at least, worry about those things which are not something that you had to, break your head on. Another interesting thing that is now available in Photoshop, it's been there for about a few months, but it is the camera raw filter. So this is making it even more intense and and very useful for people who need a specific section of your image to stand out or create a depth of field. All of that is now possible in Photoshop itself. It's integrated with the Lightroom features itself. And as you can see, you have variations that are available, and you can actually explore this as much as you would want and then work around with this. So I see another hand raised, a couple of hand raised. So this is what we have. I will take another 3 minutes and I'll start answering your questions, quickly showing you what is available in the camera raw. You can select a subject and then you can choose to, work around with it, change things that would make it a little more pop out or interesting, or work around with the effects that would ensure that your subject that you have to work with is working well for you. And then you can actually go ahead and create another mask where you select the background, and then you can actually work around with the blurs. The blurs will work way more better because here they will take care of the depth of field also. So very interesting features, definitely something that you should explore and work and see for yourself what the results are. And here, if you see, you'll also get something called as a visual depth. It'll allow you to focus what you would want, adjust and tweak according to what you need it to, and blur it according to the amount that you need it to as well. And as you can see, I've got my results are way more intense or better than what I was expecting it to be. And go here, the Firefly feature that I had shown you, you can go to generative workspace, and with the help of generative workspace, you will have this window that pops up, which will show you all the results that you have created, all of the generations that you had done. All of it will come into a picture and you'll be able to then work with that. So these are the images that I had created earlier. All of it is saved and all of it is here for me. And the effects, the references, variables, all of that can be looked into or tweaked according to what you need. And whenever you want to go ahead and work on any of the images that you have generated, you can simply choose on that and open it. So I've already opened this one, as you can see, and I had gone ahead and changed the background. Previously, it was something like a mountain, and I went and added a background for a city. So I can do that and I can keep changing the background on a different layer and hence work a lot more based on what my subject looks like.